Jesus. And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. Joined again with your host, Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM and Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast, as well as Hyper Clean Car Care Products.
All right,
And,
go straight into the story.
I'm going to dive into it, because shit. All right, so two sales stories.
But yeah, give them a heads up. We were just chatting offline, and then it was like, dude, hit record. Like, so what are we chatting about?
Yeah. So we were talking about this sales experience that there's one where I was the seller, and there was one recently where I was the buyer. So the first
we were talking about first, like neither one of us had a problem taking a first step to go make a
That's true. Like, give some background. You're right. So what we were talking about is like our strengths and weaknesses and in sales, and like even myself, I don't really consider myself necessarily a good salesman. In terms of like, there's those people that they just have that like, you mentioned it, like the silver tongue, I know I'm going to say the wrong things sometimes, or I'm going to slip up, but I'm not scared to just go talk to anybody and sell them anything. So,
and that's what, we wanted people to hear that though, because we both were like, both of us, we know, I can specifically remember a lot of sales calls. I mean, it was a swing and a miss. Like, it was a brutal swat. Like those strikeouts where the guy's like half falling over on the plate. Like, oh shit, I gotta get up. That looks so bad, right? Like, brutal, right? Brutal. But I was like, okay, but anytime in sales, you always understand there's a next one. There's a next one. Exactly. There's a next one. I'll come back. There's a next. And that's, to me, I heard that long ago in sales. It's like, okay, I gotta hang on to this principle, this idea, this theory. And that really was something that helped sustain me. It was like, it becomes a numbers game. I know I'm going to strike out, but to get in the Hall of Fame, I only have to get on base with a hit 3 times.
It's true.
3 out of 10. I only got about 300. I'm in the Hall of Fame at 300.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. Another thing, like a lesson I was taught when I was at my very, very, very first like sales job per se, because I had some businesses when I was younger, and then I took a job one summer, and I was working this place because I wanted to hone my craft, and I was like, let me just jump on the phones, because for me, I was good with sales in person, and like we're going back a long ways, so there was no internet to sell on, there was none of this, so it was like the main things were like door to door, you're in person, or on the phone. Those were the two things. The phone I wanted to get better at because I actually fumbled a lot more on the phone in my early days. In person, I could read the person better. I was just more social, but on the phone, there was some sort of disconnect there. But you got to think the customer also had that same disconnect, right? They can't see my emotions, everything. So I was like, let me learn how to, do this better. So I actually worked for the Shriners Circus selling circus tickets.
Did you wear your hat?
Yeah, I did actually, but only I ended up getting Salesman of the Month, and they did have a little hat actually. I got to wear it for a week, no joke.
On the side or straight up?
To the side. Yeah, I tilted it like I'm the king of this bit. Yeah, so I worked there though. Selling circus tickets is not easy. Let me put it that way.
Gotta be fun, right? Like
it was fun, and there was a lot of,
just the people. Like
yeah, that's true. But they did tell you.
I'd get in trouble there. I'd stare too long while I'm trying to like fake like I'm counting their money or like trying to get the table. I'd just be looking at them or something.
Yeah. Jesus. So it was fun though, but they wanted you to follow their script specifically, and I was the type to I followed the structure of it. But I added a lot of my own things in there. And I used to get a lot of shit until they started looking at my numbers. And they were like, well, fucking run with it, young man. They're like, just go with it. But I got really, really, really good at being on the phone. And then that was like a very transformative skill for me. Because even if I met someone in person for a brief moment, a lot of the times later in my sales career, the sale actually happened on the phone. So I would meet someone in person, we'd have a quick exchange of words and stuff, and then it was like, yeah, I gotta run, yeah, me too, all right, cool, I'll call you. And that's always what it was, or you know what, hey, let me take your number down. It was always on the phone. So I wanted to get good at that. So I started working at the circus. Well, it was a call center that was hired by the circus, Shriner Circus, to sell for them, whatever it was. So that's where what the hell was the point of that whole story though? So I started there. It was really tough.
I think we were talking about, I think you chased a rabbit. That bouquet just lost a flower.
Oh, no. But I do remember this. Oh, no, no, no. A very important lesson I was taught. I remember. So when I was making calls and the whole thing about volume. So I came in and after my first like week and a half, I wasn't doing very good. And I was talking to my manager and he was like, yeah, well, it just takes time. It takes a lot of time. I was like, man, listen, I've been making like hundreds of calls. And he said, you're thinking with the right numbers. You're just thinking of the wrong metric. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it's not hundreds of calls. You got to think in hundreds, but it's hundreds of hours. He says, you want to get good at sales? Hundreds of hours. He said, that's what it's going to take.
That's perfect. I think so many people are just thinking like you going, yeah, hundreds of calls. I know there's people that just thought when they heard these episodes, thought about doing a Halloween, thought about doing something for marketing, thought about it, and spent some time. I bet you some people even produced some things. And you just go, man, it's not just about the hours.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about the years.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. Like it's not, oh, well, I worked on that for an hour. No, 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 no. Hundreds of hours. That's what you're going to need to get better at something, And there's that old parable where there's an art class, actually. They split it into two groups. There's one group, and they said, the goal is to make the best pot possible, a clay pot. They go to one group, and they say, you're going to spend as much time as needed. Let's say we've got 2 months, for example, and you're going to build one pot, and you're going to make the best pot that you can. They go to the other group, and they say, you're going to build as many pots as you possibly can in these 2 months, and don't focus so much on making one perfect pot. You just focus on making as many pots as possible. And in the end, the group that focused on making the most pots made the most pots, obviously, but they also made better pots than the guys that focused on just the one.
How many pounds did they make? How many pounds are we talking about here?
Oh, hundreds. So, but yeah, and it was that good.
Oh, you mean like a clay pot?
Yeah,
oh, my bad. I thought. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. All I got to do is grow this one plant. Yeah,
Tulsa King's back on. Here we go.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, that's actually a really good show too. By the way.
It's a terrible show.
What? Oh, I thought you said. I was like, yo. I thought it was gonna be, and then my wife showed me, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's decent, man." Yeah, unless you're serious and you don't like it, I'm sorry.
There's some cheesy, there's some bad acting, some stuff, and they don't record the show in Tulsa anymore.
No way. Where did they move to?
I don't know. I don't fucking care.
You're like, I don't fucking
get the fuck out of here. Like, they stole our name,
Damn.
and it is what it is. All right, we can't chase too many rabbits. We got to get back to that. But so many people wonder why something that I put out or something that I do doesn't work. Shawn and I are going to talk about some things today, and heavy of what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to jump ahead of you and go, a lot of it stems from a new book I started listening to, and it's called Principles. And I'm only like chapter 1, just started the other day. I was working in the lab, and I just need some. So I always have to listen to things over and over to really understand it, but that's how I grab my information. And let's just start with the principle of the book is getting principles. Okay. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I mean, a lot of us would go, well, my business has these core values. Okay, well, then principles are how you, the human, achieves a core value. Right? Principles are, in a sense, like a guide to, if you follow this, you're going to achieve here. And I wanted to bring it up early because it was something we were just talking about of like, I want some people to start taking some challenges. I want them to take some theories, some principles, and put them to a challenge. Yeah. One of them for me was just what we just talked about. I like, as you kept talking, I was like, God damn, this really was a principle for people told me, and I go, I'm going to challenge this principle that if I do not stop and I push as hard as I can and I go for as long as I can and I put in as many hours as I can, then that will compound its effect and I will eventually have, quote unquote, success, right? Define that however you want. Here we were talking about sales, right? The hours, the years of marketing to eventually get some sales, to eventually, then they say, if you can hold your breath long enough, right? If you can go even further, how much deeper down the well you get, and the veins of oil, the veins of water, or whatever, the veins of all that work is just going to produce even more. There's the challenge, okay? It's the challenge of going at a principle. When somebody says something like, hey, it takes hours, it takes, who here listening is going to take that and go, all right, I'm going to accept that principle that if I do this, I will have success. And so I'm going to go challenge that principle by putting it to work.
Yeah. That's the big thing, is those challenges with yourself, to say, what are your principles? Establish those and say, okay. But then you got to put them to the test. You can't just put it on the wall and be like, here's our core values. Here's our mission statement. And it's like, what are you doing to actually challenge that, to reinforce it, to stand behind it? And that's the thing that you do every day until you master it. And that becomes,
and there's principles, right? Principle of not stopping with marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like 100%. Keep going. Every marketer's going to take you. For those of you that say, hey, I can't do it, I want to call somebody. Great. Call a marketing company. And then one of the questions you're going to ask them is, how long is this going to take? When's my return? And they're going to start spitting some data to you. I say this over and over, but years ago, the data they used to spit to us was on a billboard or on something they see or something like that. Somebody has to see it 7 times. That was pre-internet. That was pre-social media. Compound that. Compound it. Try to imagine how many times you need to see something before you buy it. And then you go, wait, something that we just talked about recently. Wait, I can't see the same thing over and over again that many times. I'll never buy it. But they have to see it, or they have to see something.
Yeah.
And what do? Most of us. Oh, I tried it.
Yeah.
You did?
I tried a few times,
you did?
Yeah.
So your principle then is trying. Your principle is that you are a trier. Your principle isn't that you're a doer. Okay. But we need to set that as that's your principle. Your principle isn't success, isn't climbing. Your principle, your finish isn't that, right? If you're somebody that gives up, then your principle is that you're a giver-upper.
Giver-upper, absolutely. Yeah, I think that.
And here in Oklahoma, we know what that is.
Yeah. but no, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing, is that, like, I feel like a lot of people think they're doing, and because they're doing something, but
they're doing something.
It depends on the length of time that you're looking at what the goal is, and so if your goal is I need more jobs in the shop, what time frame are you looking at? Are you looking at, I need more jobs in the shop this afternoon, or I need more jobs in the shop continuously so that I can hire more people, I can run the shop more efficiently, I can remove myself from having to do what I'm doing day to day, I can, those kinds of things. If your long-term goal is that kind of growth, you've got to be climbing. And to do that, that's going to require a ton of effort. But most people are just thinking about, I'm slow right now, I just need to get the shop not slow. That's all they're thinking about. So those are those trying moments where you're just, okay, I'm going to put out some stuff. The minute that they have a little bit of success, even if it's mediocre for what they actually want long term, that's where I think a lot of people take their foot off the gas. Or if they try something for what they deem to be the right amount of time, then they take their foot off the gas as well.
They take it off because they don't have what it takes. Or there's another word, right? That is one. Let's go ahead and see. You don't have what it takes, so you take your foot off the gas. Like, that's what. If I can't take a corner fast enough, I'm not Andretti. I'm not some super. I take my foot off the gas. Okay? Yeah. You don't take it as an insult. Don't take it as a punch in the, like, it is what it is. Just call it what it is. Like, you pull back. You're done. You've had enough. Like, you don't have what it takes. The other flip of the coin is this word that we really want to talk about.
Yeah. It's a
is
scary word
that they go, hey, this doesn't work. Okay. Well, I could keep trying, and I could try something else, and I could try something else, or they could go, social media doesn't work. Talking to people doesn't work. Putting out a sign to people driving down the road. Come on, that doesn't work. Or are they? What's this magical word that starts with an L that we want to talk about?
Scary word, lazy, and laziness. I think that most people, especially business owners, I'll say, because like I know I have some friends that work jobs 9 to 5s. They love it. They love the hours. They love the lack of things they have to take home with them at the end of the day. They don't carry a lot of that weight. They love that life. They honestly love it. I look at someone like that, and I've heard other entrepreneurs say, "Oh, it's because that person is too lazy to chase their dreams." And it's like, no, that's that person's dream. That person to me is not lazy. The one that's lazy is the one that says they want to be an entrepreneur. They say they want to be a business owner. They get into business and they start to have a little bit of success with something, and then they take their foot off the gas.
How about some examples? What are some examples that you can think of things that you've seen that are lazy for?
So absolutely, man, have you know what? I have one for my own shop actually. There we go. So I was going to talk about the sales guy I interacted with earlier, but I'll dive into that in a second. At my own shop, even we're having this competition because we're testing our principles. We're keeping our foot on the gas. So Nick and I have a competition right now going different advertising strategies. He admitted that I was right, but he deleted the WhatsApp message, so I don't have the proof anymore. But anyway, it happened. But we have a competition going, and these are two guys that have already achieved a level of success that how we define it that there is no other peak at this moment per se, but there's always a new peak for people like us because we're not lazy. I get bored, man. I gotta keep going. I want the next challenge. I want the next thing. So our principles are always evolving. They're always being tested. Our mission's always changing. Long story short, instilling that in our staff members is a different story. And so while we're keeping our foot on the gas within our organization, some people have become a little lazy and are taking their foot off the gas. And so one of my own staff right now, we have leads coming in, and not even just leads. These are past customers, submitted a form. I want the booking on this date, this date, this date, but they chose a different promo, and he wasn't sure what to do with it, and he was just like, and he just let it go. And he's like, I'll get to it, I'm going to get to it. I'm like, where's the sense of urgency? And so he doesn't have the sense of urgency that I have. I look at things and I'm like, yeah, okay, the shop's busy, but the goal is to just let's keep getting busier. It's not, it's busy enough, so we're okay right now. We don't want to overwork the guys. We don't want to, disappoint customers if the car's not ready in time. No. Fucking pack the place full, and I'll hire more staff if needed, and then we keep growing and growing and growing. He doesn't understand that principle, or he's getting lazy. And I think it's the laziness side of things that's kicking in personally. I think that when I see people that don't react to something quick enough, like we spend a lot of money, time, and energy getting customers to reach out to us, or potential customers, closing those deals is about speed. And so when I see people start to, they start off strong. It's like every new employee, right? They start off strong the first week, first 2 weeks, they're working their ass off to get a little comfortable, they're good. And so this guy in particular I'm talking about, he chose salary over commission. He said, "No, I'm cool with the little bit higher salary, and yeah, but I want to work sales. I want to do stuff on the phone, but I want the salary instead of commission." And we were like, okay. So we knew right away, we're like, this guy's probably not going to sell too hard, because if he was, like, you could give me a job, pay me nothing except commission. I want a really high commission. You're going to fucking pay for it. But my ass is on the line. If I don't sell, I make nothing. So you have no risk, but what you are putting up is a higher investment in me for every sale that I do bring in. But I'm confident in my abilities, and I'm confident that I won't get lazy. But a lot of people, they start to have a little bit of success, and I find that the more, like, I don't know, kind of congratulatory things that they get, the laziness starts to kick in faster as well. So they're like, oh, I'm doing a great job. I'm doing a great job. For me, or for people that think like us, I would see like those milestone trophies as like, oh, great. I want the bigger trophy. I want the next trophy after that. I want to keep going. There's some people, they just fall into that trap of laziness. But yeah, he's kind of taking his foot off the gas a bit. And so I've had to step in and say like, okay, well, listen, now we got some choices to face here. And I think we're going to go back to commission only for anyone that's interacting with their customers face to face, because you got to be selling. You have to. And I feel a lot of laziness is kicked in there.
So let me tell a story, because as you were telling one, I was like, I think there's the story about laziness that from a guy I used to know around here.
Okay.
And I know you've got another story, so we'll just do this story time, right?
Yeah,
Story
sounds
time.
good. Story time. I like it.
Because when I think of laziness and I think of business owners, you said, most of them feel like they're not. I mean, lazy is a pretty tough word when you think like. So I would say most of us don't think we're lazy because you're right. Most of us work a lot. Most of us are busy doing something.
Yeah.
And or then when that time is finished, I need to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Home. Most of us. Right? Kid sport, kid practice, right? Some other thing inside of their daily schedule has required the owner of the company to be away from the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
So they schedule time that they work and time that they don't work. Let's just call that 8 to 5. Okay? That's just, yeah. Shawn, it's not lazy, man. That's a full week's.
Yeah. And
so the facetious part is the lazy, right? Like, for most people, a 40-hour week, Shawn, isn't lazy. I mean, they're grinding 40 hours a week.
They are grinding.
Grinding away.
Putting the time in.
Putting in the time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, of course, we could say, guys, you need to go work 60. Like, we could say that, but we also know it's not going to happen. What I think I want you to do in this moment is go take something very strange. I get it, but there's a soccer player named Erling Haaland. He's always the number one scorer somewhere in the top of, in the Premier League. He's this gigantic man out of no. He looks like a Viking, wherever they're from.
Wherever they're from.
Norway or whatever. Like, I mean, he is. I mean, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
He's he's got on YouTube. I just watched it the other day because I was like, this would be interesting. Day in the life of Erling Haaland. The dude is simple. He has this very unique pattern about himself. And so if you feel that you're swamped and you're busy, here's this guy that just go watch it, right? I mean, he's one of the most mega stars, but he cooks his own breakfast every morning. He goes to buy his food from a farmer, right? You'll love that, right? Like shit like that. And you go,
100%.
Huh.
Yo.
And he tells the story of, I was basically had to raise myself because wherever he's from, he said that my dad would drop off food and be gone for days. He goes, that's just life. So I found that it's simple for me when I am done with something, I throw it away in the trash can instead of putting it down and then having to clean up later, right? He said, I found it was simple to do, and he goes through all these things, right? Let's get to the point. If you got so many hours to do in a week, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to figure out how to do it more simple, how to do it the right way the first time. Used to have a football coach in college would yell at us, do it right, do it light. That means keep fucking up. We're going to be here a long time.
Damn day.
If you're somebody like me, had no problem working 70, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
I could fuck up. I had plenty of time. I didn't care. But if you're somebody that doesn't have in your principle that you allow yourself the opportunity to make a lot of mistakes and you have to be off the clock, so we got an issue here then because you only got 40 hours and you guys are making it way too complicated. Way too complicated. So how can you start to simplify things would be the question for me. If you're going, listen, Shawn, I'm not lazy. I put in my time. I'm not lazy. Well, I'm not sure what you guys are saying. I go, okay, Shawn and I are both going to look at you and go, you're lazy, though, in marketing. You're lazy in how you do your study. You're lazy in how you talk to people. You're not lazy in this big, broad term because you do put in the 40 hours.
Yeah.
Right? But you're lazy in diving into the deep roots of what could really give you the greatest success in your life, the greatest pathway to where you would see victory in every aspect. And that's going, hey, how do I dive deeper into everything I'm not great at? Right? The laziness of not being simple. Simplicity means you do it right. You know how hard it is to do things right every time?
Every time, yeah. That's the thing. It's funny. I have this principle. It's one of my principles. I think that um, money rewards speed. I really do think that money rewards speed. I think that when you can be fast at doing something, that becomes a competitive edge that's really hard to compete with. It really is.
ADD people a lot of times say that's why they have their success.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And OrbisX. We came into an industry where everyone was telling me there's already well-established CRMs, that people know them in the industry, and yada yada, all this bullshit. And I was like, that's okay. The one thing they're not is fast. So I said, I'm going to be fast. Now, being fast, oftentimes, because that old thing where it's like you can be fast and cheap, but you can't be cheap and fast, whatever that fucking triangle is, where people always use that. It's reality is being fast means sometimes there's going to be errors. But if you're fast to fix errors, it's actually better than the guy that takes his time and spends 8 hours doing a detail and gets it right every time. If you're fast and you're also fast to fix things when they go wrong, we pump out more details, we get better at every detail because of the sheer volume. So, those kinds of things. But does that mean that we're lazy? Does it mean we're not lazy? A lot of people have this stigma about laziness. They think that, don't call me lazy, I'm not fucking lazy. I work my ass off. I'm grinding every day. And it's that mentality, I think, where people haven't experienced the benefits of not being lazy at certain things. They haven't achieved that level of success where, and I'm not talking about, you have a Lambo or something. I'm talking about you have a little more free time. You have a better customer experience. Your business is growing consistently.
Let's give a very, whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump.
Yeah.
At any point in his life that we've seen from a television, from whether that's mid 2000s to 2020, the past 20 years that we've seen of him, from different TV shows to all the documentaries, everything, he's a guy that would look at you and go, "You're lazy."
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And then you go, "You're fired."
Yeah. No, it's true though, and that's the thing. And a lot of people take it personally. I know I'm guilty of it myself at times too, and I tell myself, like, let's say I skip a workout one week or something like that. I was like, my wife will say, "You all right?" And I'm like, this week I just felt off. I didn't get everything done I wanted to get done. And I'm told this all the time. It's like, yeah, but Shawn, you're such an overperformer, overachiever. You're doing so much. You need to slow down, enjoy life. And I'm like, listen, in my opinion, everybody's obsessed. Everybody. They look at me and they think I'm obsessed with doing something. I'm obsessed with working. I'm obsessed with, the next step, the next level, whatever it is. I look at them and I'm like, you're obsessed with being broke. You're obsessed with living la vida loca, like doing nothing. Like, you're obsessed with those things. Everyone's obsessed with something. And the fact that you're focused on me doing what I'm doing is because you're obsessed with that and you don't want to be. But for me, I don't look at laziness. If someone says I'm lazy, I'll criticize myself. I skipped a workout this week. I was feeling lazy. That's it, because it doesn't define me. It's a temporary state, if that makes sense. It's me recognizing the faults in my game of where I need to improve. That's what it is. And the reason I want to improve is not to work harder or keep grinding or anything. It's to improve things so that whatever I want to do, I'm able to do, and I'm able to do it better, and I'm able to do more. That's once you start doing that and you start to not be lazy, and you start to realize, holy shit, man, these ads are really working well. And man, we're getting better customers. We're not attracting, those customers we talk about where you see the flies, things get better. That has a trickle down effect. Now our staff are happier. We're dealing with better customers. The money, the higher ticket prices, everything. It has this trickle down effect. It's the benefits that I think people don't experience because it means you have to put in that work. And so it's really easy to be lazy. Like, it's a lot easier. Trust me, it's hard to. You want a six pack, you got to go do 1,000 crunches. You want, I don't know, a new boat. You got to go work thousands of hours. Like, it takes work. And so people don't want to do that. And they might look at it and say, well, yeah, but I'm putting out ads. And yeah, I'm doing this. And I check up on my team and have them clock in and punch in and see how long it takes them to do stuff. sometimes you're just misfocused, I think. And that's what we mean, I think, by the laziness side, is that a lot of people don't take that deep dive in the right areas to improve things. And so they're kind of just focused on the wrong things. But I think a lot of it, to be honest, stems from speed. I think that a lot of people are scared to take that first step, to do something. And so they sit and they think about it. They overthink, they overanalyze, and they don't realize that that's a form of laziness. Is that paralysis to take action and do something? Like, that's what stops people from going to the gym. That's what stops people from putting out that new ad or testing out something. Some of it's fear of failure. Some of it's just, it's easier to do nothing and just think about it for a bit, right?
It's
And
easier to
that's the
complain.
laziness of talking about it. Yeah, right? Because it's okay, so we had a friend. He was working on our Airbnb. We fired him, let him go. It was a tough decision. He was a friend of the family. Had to let him go. He does great work, to be honest. He's a contractor. He was doing commercial work for a very long time, and so he went into business on his own, left that job that he had, which I think he should have kept. Anyway, he left it to start his own business. He wanted to be self-employed, and he's been struggling now for 2 years. And we tried to help him out. We said, well, we know you do good work, but on the commercial side, maybe you can help us out on the residential. So anyway, we threw him a bone. He overthought everything. And I told him, I said, bro, you're lazy. He got offended. He got really upset at me. We don't talk actually to this day. But I told him, I said, listen, man, it's not to be offensive. I'm just telling you, there's a whole nother world you could be experiencing if you just improve some things and you stop being lazy. And he said, well, I'm not lazy. And he said the same thing. I show up to work every day. I said, okay. Like, that doesn't mean you're putting in the work, though, of what needs to be done. I said, listen, you show up, but during the time that you're here, you're physically here, but you're overthinking something. So something that should have just been done, you're thinking about it for a couple hours. And I'm like, bro, just do it. He said, well, yeah, but I don't want to make a mistake. And I said, so if you made a mistake, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I'd have to spend 30 minutes fixing it. Okay. How long have you been thinking about it? Well, I've been thinking about it for, I don't know, just a couple hours. I want to make sure it's right. I'm like, so let's say it took you 20 minutes to do it, 30 minutes to fix a mistake that you made. We're still under an hour, and you've been thinking about this for 2 hours plus. You should have just done it. You'd be further ahead. Chances are you're going to get it right on the first try anyways, so you're wasting everybody's time. So, and it was the accumulation of all these things. And he was under the impression he was working hard and that because he was putting in the hours, success was owed to him. He said, well, I worked hard. I showed up to work. I showed up. So I should have the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? And it's like, no, because you were lazy in so many aspects of getting there that you're even further away from that pot of gold than you think. And just because you put in the hours, physically being there, attendance, like in entrepreneurship, we literally don't get paid for attendance. You don't get recognition for attendance. You don't get, there's no fucking 11th place
participation
ribbon.
Trophies.
No participation trophies, exactly. It's doing the actual work that matters. And doing it well, in my opinion, comes secondary. Doing it well is what is going to earn you more money. It's going to open up new doors, new opportunities with more clients, with better clients. But doing it in the first place is what's going to bring in business. And not doing it, inaction, nobody pays for inaction. Nobody's paying you because you showed up to work 40 hours. They're paying you because in that 40 hours, what did you do? Did you do income producing things? And a lot of people spin their wheels. Well, I tried this, I tried that, and so on and so forth. And it's a vicious cycle that I feel a lot of people are trapped in, and they don't realize that they're being lazy, and no one wants to label them that because it's got such a stigma attached to it. But I'm not saying that no one's sitting, like, I'm not saying people are sitting around doing nothing. I know you're doing stuff.
In aspects, you are.
Exactly.
Right? Overall, yeah, no. Yeah. But with marketing, which is what we're here to talk about, so many of us are just lazy. Like, I hate to call it what it is. It is what it is.
And you know how
deal with it. Like,
look at the trends. If you look at all the major players, Google, Facebook, YouTube, look at them all. They're all doing something. They're using their own AI right now. They're taking away more and more of your choices when you make ads. And they're pushing, let our AI just do it all for you. because they're realizing a lot of people start, didn't work out. Facebook doesn't work. They start on YouTube. YouTube doesn't work. They try Google. Google doesn't work. They're realizing they're losing millions and millions of dollars. So what they need to do is they're trying to add a human being basically with this AI that's going to work on your team
To
and
help
not be
lazy
lazy.
people be more lazy.
Absolutely. And it's
That's
true.
what business is supposed to do, right? Solve problems for people.
It's true.
Hey, we're on a journey. Go through the river over here. Let's go.
It's safe. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you shouldn't go that way. Maybe you should.
And they will. They will. But they fucking will. But you know what? Me, I think that I attribute a lot of my success in business and life to the fact that people do have that laziness built into them. Because I'm willing to put in that extra. And I said something once to my old mentor a long time ago, and he was like, fuck, that's amazing. And then he stole it and used it for a few years. But my saying was, I always go the extra mile because there's no traffic jams. There's never traffic jams because there's nobody fucking there. Because nobody wants to go that extra mile. Because most people, they do just enough. They're like, well, I was on the highway. I was driving. So that's the same as grinding. Like but you didn't do that extra. And so doing that little bit extra. So this whole like this hour to this hour, people have criticized me all the time. Like, Shawn, you have to have a work-life balance and this and that. You got to have hobbies. And what they don't understand is like their life, I don't want that. If I wanted that, I wouldn't be me. My hobbies are business.
You do your hobby. If I had your life, I'd shoot myself.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally. And so for me, it's like I don't need a work-life balance because when we go on vacation, for example, my wife knows we go to the beach for a little bit and then, oh shit, I got to take care of something. Boom, I go back to the hotel, use the Wi-Fi, got my laptop out, I get some shit done, and then I come back. But she knows it's quality, not quantity. So she's not keeping track like, we only spent 3 hours together today. No, she's looking at it. She's like, fuck, I had a lot of fun with you when we went swimming in the ocean. And we might have only swam for 20 minutes. It's not about the length of time. It's about what I got done in that time.
All right. So I love thinking about you and your wife in the ocean, but I'm going to get back to marketing.
No, just kidding. But,
and I want to talk about another thing revolving laziness. And this is something that happens throughout the industry. This is you can see it in literally every single group. You can see it from manufacturers to distributors to shop owners to it doesn't matter. There's people that believe that in marketing, I can go onto the camera and tell people that I'm the best, we're the best, we use the best, and so you need to come experience the best.
Come experience the best, yeah.
And you feel for these people because they spend some time, right? I mean, they've invested time. They've actually, right, for what you're saying, they've put some effort. So I can't say that they're necessarily lazy, but is that lazy marketing? That's where I wanted to draw, that's where I want some people to understand. It's not always don't think it personal of like, are you lazy? Ours are maybe. Yeah. But then you could look at it and you could look at some things and go, all right, well, I guess it's not so bad to tell people that we're the best, I mean, I guess, but I just don't see anybody else doing it that's a major company. You don't see it around. I mean,
also, how many times can you beat that drum? What are you going to run that ad every week? Like, what are you going to do?
Okay, and you're the best for who?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I want to. I mean, what makes you the best? And then let's look at, we talked about some ads before. We've talked about different. Let's look at what these people wear when they are quote unquote the best. If I'm somebody that's looking up, I don't know, yard care, and the guy's telling me he's the best, just what? I mean, I guess I would start to picture what somebody who's the best in yard care would dress like. And we could all think of, okay, what is the best detailer dress like?
Like, what is the uniform?
What is it? Greg, wow, you said a uniform. I see so many people, one in particular, they want to wear whatever they feel cool in. right? Like, oh, this is what I feel cool going out on Saturday night. I got some jeans on, my shoes, and a big old jacket.
Yeah.
Huh?
Jesus.
You're the
No.
best?
Yeah.
Fuck?
Fuck.
Huh? I
Yeah.
didn't know the best dressed like that. That
Yeah.
seems very odd that the best would dress so low key. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, you're the best.
It's funny
I
because
got it.
we're in an industry where people don't want to be treated like the help, but yet we dress like the help. It's like, what the fuck? I thought we
Or
were
we
artists.
dress like the
People
way we
treated-
would at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is probably what he did, right? Like he probably went out
That's
and got
true.
his best looking pants, like this jacket my wife got me for Christmas last year. Like, I love this jacket. It makes me feel great. Okay, you're going to kind of like, cool. But the best in the industry doesn't dress like that.
Yeah.
So how'd
No,
you
that's
become
it.
the best?
Yeah. You
And,
know
and
who does that well, to be honest, in our industry, like in the automotive space, I should say? Oil change places. Oil change places, fuck, they're so good, man. They're so good. First off, I love the simplified, unified branding, simple product line. Like, they're so good. Uniforms. They are so big on, like, the uniformity.
so aesthetically, they just look clean.
Yes.
Aesthetically, they're not saying, hey, we're the best. The best are actually just clean,
Yeah.
right? The best are simple.
Yeah. It's
The best
true.
aren't flashy, actually. The best are just simple and
Yeah.
clean.
Very, very simple.
Most of the oil change, I'm glad you brought that up because most of the oil change actually will, they'll tell you that they're best at something,
Yeah, yeah. One thing. It'll be like, we're the best at XYZ. Yep.
right?
100%.
So that's why I love that you brought up oil change because I had a couple things written down because I go, listen, we should actually tell people we're great at something.
Yeah.
We should.
100%.
It's okay to say you're great. It's
Yeah.
just about how you say it. And this is the lazy part. The lazy marketing is to just go sit there and go, I'm the best, I use the best. Ding. Right? That's lazy marketing.
Yeah.
It's very lazy.
It's
Actually crafting out a story of somebody who used your service and deemed you to be great. Now, there's an actual way to tell people that you're great. That is in marketing and sales and not just being an
100%.
asshole telling people you're great. Like, that's the
true.
way I looked at it. When I saw this video, I go, you're an asshole. Like, just sitting there looking at him, I just go, you're an asshole. You just look like an asshole. Somebody that constantly keeps saying, I'm great. Well, you're an asshole. That's what you are. And listen, this happens in every single group across our industry. Every single group across our industry.
It's true.
Okay, I see it in stories with holding their phone of how great. Like, okay, so what can we do? What can we do? Think of the oil change. Think of something. I think of the Take 5 and some of these that are like, we're great at you never get out of your vehicle. Wow. Okay. That's at least puts me into something for people that don't want to leave their car. Then they're great for those people. Can we see the connection here? All right. Here's something I wrote down. We are number one amongst wives with a dirty car. We're number one with wives who are told their car is dirty.
The car's dirty. Yeah. Damn. That hits. That. First off,
I think the
clearly
youngins would say
defined
that slaps. I think that's what they
It slaps. Yeah. Yeah. No, that slaps for sure. But clearly defined demographic. I love that aspect. And it also introduces like.
Is it?
I think so.
It's dual fold, actually. You're going to say it's defined to the woman. It's also defined to the man.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I
Because the
agree.
man's going to go, fuck yeah, wives with dirty cars. My wife has a dirty car. Wives are going to go, fuck, oh yeah, all the wives with dirty cars, they're the best. Oh, my husband's always on my ass.
Yeah, it's true. And I was.
And threefold.
Yeah. All right.
These are people. These are people that are arguing over cleanliness.
Beautiful. Yep. So, okay, that ties in with my fourth one. So, it's like 3.5, which was shame. Yeah, it's 3.5, which was shame. Shame is something I think a lot of people overlook in our industry in particular. People are ashamed when they're dirty.
It's hard to shame people on swirls.
Yeah,
Hard to shame
very.
people on, angles of coatings that have this water angle. Hard to shame people on that.
Very hard.
Hard,
Yeah.
hard to shame people on a PP, but easy to shame people on cleanliness.
Cleanliness, big time. The first thing, anytime I've gone to someone's house, one of the first things the wives will say, if it was an impromptu visit or it was sometimes even if a planned visit,
Your house so clean.
yeah, or, oh, welcome guys, forgive the mess, you know?
Oh, I thought you meant the guest were
Yeah,
saying
yeah, but
something.
no, the host. Yeah, the host.
Host,
I
yeah,
know what
you're
you mean.
right. Always
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to ask for a pardon on the mess. You're right.
Yes. But you know what? That's a good point though. As a guest, that's one of the first things people say. Oh my God, your house is so beautiful. Wow, it smells great in here. Oh, it's so clean. It's like, absolutely. Human beings, we are obsessed with clean. Obsessed. Actually, that would be a good slogan for a detail shop. We're obsessed with clean. Anyway, so I'm trying to
You're
regroup.
trying. I'm not
Yeah,
going to give you that.
yeah, because I lost that petal earlier with the flower, with the tips.
You lost
Okay,
the whole rose. It's out of
lost
the
the whole row.
bouquet.
Fuck. Yeah. But
Don't worry, you
honestly,
got thousands more.
yeah, thousands more. So I think cleanliness is that whole thing. Cleanliness next to godliness, and I think that shame. So like, what is it there? Insurance industry. They focus on fear. They focus a lot on fear of what could happen, what risks might happen to you that will be
PPF
there
does
for you.
this.
Yes, exactly. And for our industry, it's cleanliness. It's that the shame of someone else seeing it. Some people will live in their own filth, but if someone sees it, now it's a problem. They're like, "Ooh, shit," So that's our angle. A lot of it is shame. It's the
Yeah.
shame of what it's
And,
going to look like.
and that shame of a man and a wife that argue
Ooh,
back and forth.
ooh,
And those are
yeah,
the people you want. I'm
yeah,
telling you.
100%,
I'm
hundred
telling you,
percent.
you want the people that argue about
Yep,
their wife's car not being clean. That's
yep.
the best guy you could ever want.
Absolutely. Listen, that's how you get maintenance plans. That is right there is how you get maintenance plans. If you look at a gym, most gym memberships aren't because someone wants to have a six pack. It's not because they want to put in the work for a six pack. It's because they went on vacation, they took off their shirt at the beach, and they felt shame. They were like, shit. I don't look the way I look or want to look the way I look or whatever it is. At some moment, that's where they make their bread and butter. It's on that transformation of we'll transform who you are to other people. Not who you are inside. We'll transform who you are to other people, what you look like. And that's the industry we're in. We're in the appearance industry. Big time. Yes, there's health benefits. Yes, it's going to be, better air quality and all this jazz. But ultimately, the instant satisfaction is something that's dirty and messy becoming clean. That's the industry we're in. And you're absolutely right. That's why a lot of people struggle to sell PPF and ceramic coatings and so on and so forth. There's those that do it really well, but ultimately we're in the appearance industry. The photos of the reflective, surface and stuff like that, that's for other detailers. That's not invoking that shame emotion from customers. It's
All
just
right.
not.
I got next level too.
All right.
I
Hit
got
me with it.
my final thought
All right.
of what could somebody do for marketing around this idea of being the best. And I really like this. This has got to be staged a little bit. I get it. It's going to take a little bit of work. I think you can do it though. I really know it can be done. I know it can be done because I need some B-roll. B-roll means like just a little bit of the car, like car porn.
All right.
So maybe I used to have to go to YouTube and study how to take B-roll. Like there's certain spots of the car that you hit with the way
Yeah.
you move your phone, whether that's up, whether that's down. There's just a little bit of technique. And please take some time, watch and study to learn how to do the appropriate shots.
Yeah.
Because
And
if you
real quick,
do,
don't be lazy. Just ask Luna. she'll break it down for you.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
See, be semi-lazy.
B-roll and the aesthetics of a cool car, right? Here's the line. Here's the layout. We're the best for men who putt for dough and drive for show.
Ah. Yo.
Let me show you what this 4 handicaps car, something, whatever. Let me show you this 4 handicap golfers ride.
I like that a lot.
Right, so you start with this cool. We're most popular, and then let me show you this 4 hand. Right, somebody that's great at that. It's got a low score. Let me show you their ride, and then that's just a 20-second. Don't do some right. I don't know how long, but just 2 or 3 seconds here, 2 or 3 seconds there. Show some really cool parts of a Rolls Royce. I don't know, cool car. Like this is where it's got to be a cool car. Okay, if they're good at golf, right? They got some money, they got some cha-ching, and or there's some old retired guy that's out of the public course. Not that guy. Not the guy, right? We need the guy at the country club with the cool car.
Man, this works out well actually because so we're about to run a campaign. It's so funny you say that, man. The timing is crazy. So we're about to run a campaign similar to this. So one of my guys that does rentals for us, he said, hey, listen, over the winter, Shawn, I know you do marketing stuff. He said, we usually slow down a little bit, and I got 2 new guys that I want to keep on. He said, so do you have any like recommendations for me? And I said, actually, I do. And I said, listen, you've been saying for so long, oh, I got to bring in my truck to Auto World. I got to bring in my truck. And you haven't come in yet. And I gave you a gift card and everything. He says, to be honest, it was just, I live in a different city. It's a little far for me, yada, yada. So I said, okay. So if I can use you as a guinea pig, would you be okay if I run a campaign and then I'll work with you on some marketing stuff? And he said, sure. So we took a whole segment with him, a video of him, everything. So he introduced himself, what he does. He does construction, general contracting, stuff like that. And then we did a quick overview of his truck, and now we got it cleaned. And then we did the second shots, and now it's cleaned. And we did a whole campaign for him. And we said, hey, this winter, if you're looking for renos and stuff like that, this hasn't gone out yet, but it's queued up. I'll let you know how it goes. It's part of our competition. But we said, he's not great at cleanliness, but he's amazing at home renovations. And then we showed the transformation of his truck. But I figured, I was like, people would be interested to see, like, learn a little bit about this company, and then they'll also kind of hear the whole story of it and everything. And so it's a unique way for us to kind of capture attention without just being like,
marketing, yeah. Marketing is all about capturing attention.
It's marketing. Eyeballs.
How can you capture different styles of attention?
100%.
I'm the best.
Yeah, I'm the best. Okay.
We're the best around these people that you really want to be like. You really want to be like these people, and we're the best for them.
Exactly, yeah. And so for us, for example, this is a good case in point because we want to target more construction workers. Because what we realized is that the majority of them, they have their work truck or multiple, and they've got personal vehicles as well. So we're like, this is a perfect market. So we get them, plus if we get to the owners, we get their staff as well. If you're looking for a bonus for your team, Christmas is coming up, boom, boom, boom. We have gift cards available for our fleet members. So if you've got, 10 plus vehicles, things like that. So he's buying gift cards for $100. He gets $200, gives them to his team. He looks like a winner. We win in the end. So we realized there's a good market there. So we've been targeting construction workers specifically. And so I was like, this is it's a good way to do this, But yeah, it's that whole, our marketing is always different, always changing, but that's the thing is we're always trying something. That's what makes it not lazy, is that they don't have to all work. They don't all have to be perfect. Not everyone's a home run, not everyone's a slam dunk, but doing something, learning from it, improving it, enhancing it, and then trying again. But me, I love that golf one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna poach that 100%. There's 2 golf courses near our shop, and man.
We're voted best by men who drive for show and putt for dough.
Putt for dough. That's amazing.
Well, because that's a golf thing. It's people are like, well, I don't drive for show. I putt for dough. Like, fuck, exactly. I'm a guy that does both, motherfucker.
Exactly. That's the thing is right? You're targeting so many different things, but also you're leaning into that. I don't know what it's called, but there's like that male competitiveness that comes out that yeah, and tapping into that, it's as powerful as the shame. I think that like tapping into the shame of somebody or tapping into that competitive nature, that's where you end up with the impulse buys. You know, you end up with someone taking action because they're like,
That's
you
the
got,
veins. When I talked earlier about the vein, like you just
yeah,
keep going until suddenly you hit something of magic and that lands the vein. And that's
yes,
when it comes. But you don't know when it happened. You don't know.
exactly,
So you just
yeah,
got to keep trying. You got to keep going. Not grind, but climb. Trying new things, adapting. Keep going different this way. Okay, well, had a little success here. Let me try this way. And there you
mhm.
go.
It's true. And I find too, what's hitting a lot of people, and this will be my last thought, is that a lot of people that had some success with other things before haven't continued to evolve, and they just keep, you know, they're just, I don't know, they're like pitching the exact same style. They haven't changed it up at all, and eventually the customers get wise to it. And they're like, oh, here comes another curveball, you know, and they lose interest. That's what happens with your customers now. You keep hammering the same thing. Marketing needs to change. It has to evolve. Fortunately, we're in a time where laziness in a way can oftentimes be rewarded because if you use AI, so if you ask Luna for some ideas, you're still putting in the time, just redirect it and have someone else help you with that. To be honest, I think before anyone that's listening hires a marketing company, spend a couple hours with Luna.
Yes, there you go. There you go. That's
100%.
not lazy. That's not
Yeah.
lazy at all. That's
I,
spending time on Luna.
spend
Like,
time on Luna. I
yeah,
agree. And that's
that's
where
simple.
it's like
You're already doing. You're
keep it
already with.
simple.
You're already on
Yeah.
OrbisX. You're already there. This is
Yeah.
simple. You're just using the
Absolutely.
platform further to your advantage.
Exactly. And it's not costing you anything extra. So it's like, why wouldn't you start there? You know, it's like when my staff call me, hey, Shawn, da da da, we got this problem. I'm like, what three things did you try before you called me?
First step, right? You and I
Oh, I
aren't
didn't
afraid to
try
take the
this.
first step. You just
Exactly.
got to take a step, guys. Just go take a step onto Luna.
Yeah.
Luna will not tell Shawn your stupid questions.
Yeah, this is true. I will peer in and tell you. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, it's completely anonymous. Completely anonymous. There's no such thing as a stupid question. But yeah, no, that's the trick, guys. So don't be lazy and don't take offense to being lazy. All we want to see is you get to the other side of laziness and experience those benefits. Really, it's because it's not a negative thing. Acknowledging there's holes in your game. Fuck, guys, I have my own shop too. I got holes in my game. Are we perfect? Fuck no. Like Jesus, we got 2 1-star reviews this past week. They're things we're gonna deal with, but like shit happens, man. It's just that's what happens. You roll with it. You keep things moving, and life goes on. But you got to keep trying. Don't be lazy. Look at areas where you think you might be and try and improve them. Spend some time with Luna, and for God's sake, spend some time with Marshall and Shawn and listen to the whole damn episode. Don't ask people, I gotta mention it, don't ask people, hey, what was the timestamp where I could get the exact information? Like, you can't even listen to an entire episode to get fucking $1 million worth of information for free? What's happening here, man? So I had to mention it. I didn't want to close off without saying it. Watch the episode in its entirety. And if you made it this far, fucking cheers to you. You're a champion. You're already climbing. I guarantee it. Fucking salut. Appreciate you as always, Marshall. We'll see you guys next week. Stay in there, guys. Have a happy Halloween. Yeah, don't gain too much weight from all the sweets.
See ya.
All right, see you, man. Cheers.